we of the Methodist Church, who have in our background a slave ancestry or an African ancestry, have for a long time wanted to try, if we could, to assimilate ourselves, make ourselves what we think or what we thought the white Methodist Church wanted us to be. And so you know the various kinds of games that we've played. Many of us have played those games, and it must also be said that many of us are still playing those same games. That while on an afternoon like this we can be black and beautiful and supportive, when we depart these portals, or when some of our white brethren grab us by the collar for confrontation or conversation, we turn that blackness into something else. That when we are in situations in our annual conferences or in our communities where we know black people are being oppressed, and where we know that the church itself is very often a part of the system of oppression, we hold our tongue. And we act as though it doesn't hurt us as well as our black brothers and sisters. But some of us saw that this was the case. And so a word went out in '68 saying, let's get together and let's talk about where we are in this church and begin to see whether or not we can make our frame of reference, not the United Methodist Church with all of its whiteness, because it too has to be said to be a part of what the Kerner report called the white racism, which is at the very fundamental heart of the United States. But to make our frame of reference instead the way in which God Himself has acted upon our lives in spite of a hostile society, and the way in which He would help us to relate to each other and to discover again our essential humanity in each other because of Christ, and at the same moment to discover the ways in which we can put our hands around one another's shoulders and begin to walk and move and push and think and work together. It is out of that kind of a spirit that BMCR came about. We got many kinds of reactions. If today in the city of Dallas there are black Methodists who are shaking in their boots because we're having the convention here, it's because in 1968 letters went all across Texas saying, don't go to that meeting in Cincinnati of the black Methodists, because we don't need that kind of meeting going on in America today and in the church. Now, white Methodists were already meeting in caucus rooms of all kinds, getting their thing together and their information together and trying to figure out how they would continue to not only absorb black people and Spanish people, but in addition to that, how they would control the church. Those same letters did not say those white brethren ought not to be meeting together, but they said the black brothers should not be meeting together. And so many black Methodists took their clue from those letters, and they immediately assumed that BMCR was a separatist organization, was a radical organization, an organization committed to the destruction of church. Maybe the destruction of the church might be necessary. Who knows what God calls us to in our time? But the point is that if there are people who are not here who should be here, it's because deep within the inner regions of their own hearts and minds and lives, they do not yet know in the context of a racist land who they are, or why they are, or where they are. And so in many respects, they, like the land itself, are essentially among the lost. And not only among the lost, may well be the very seed which can see this land, if not our world, come to the kind of gloom and doom in which not one brick upon a motel like this will be left standing, but in which it becomes nothing more than dust and debris. I'm not saying this for the purpose of being frightening you or myself. I'm only stating reality. because the signs are already clear that the ordered technology, the ordered bureaucracies of the church and of the nation are really producing chaos. Those institutions are no longer able to provide for the general welfare of the people. They have come full circle and out of their order, including the order of a fabulous city like Dallas, where the lid is kept on tight by a Chamber of Commerce type process, including the city of Dallas. That ordered progress, that ordered management is in fact producing a chaos which will one day have its way unless there can be some creative spirit somewhere in the church who are willing to try to develop some chaos out of which might come the order of a different kind of society and a different kind of world.